I'm Ashley.
I'm Lauren, and this is
Whispers in the Basement. I always love the look on your face. You get this big, like, your eyes get big, like.
well, because in my head I'm always contemplating on joining you, but then I'm
You
like,
need to one day.
maybe one day.
Yeah, just don't even tell me you're doing it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I mean, I'm here.
How was your Mother's Day?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good. Yeah. I made brunch for my mother.
A queen. I love it.
I know. And it was a bougie brunch.
It was. The pictures on Facebook. I don't know if you posted it on Instagram as well.
I didn't on Instagram, but I'll tell you what I had.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know why I made all of this food.
Okay,
for
wait,
the amount
hold
of
on.
people.
Let's start this as if I am joining you
Okay.
at a restaurant, and
Okay.
and you're like providing me brunch.
Well, if you were here and you hadn't gone to your mom's, you were totally invited. But I made French toast.
Yum.
It was chocolate chip French toast out of brioche bread.
I was getting ready to say, was it the
It was
brioche bread?
Yep.
Yeah.
We had eggs. We had bacon with brown sugar and red pepper flake, thanks to you,
Yum.
which that was a hit.
Ugh, it's so good.
Everybody loved it. I made bagels. Like, I made bagels.
Yeah, you did.
I had croissants too, because Memphis is a croissant king. Croissant king. I forgot the Nutella though. He loves having Nutella on him.
Ooh, so like a Pinot Chocolat.
Oh yeah, a Pinot Chocolat. Yeah, forgot that part. I forgot the chocolat. What else did we have? I made like a charcuterie board, so I had all kinds of charcuterie board, and I had all kinds of cheeses. We had hummus, naan bread, strawberries, cotton candy grapes, salami. My mom made banana bread.
Oh, I was wondering if that bread was that lemon tea cake that I sent you that one day.
Nope. She made banana bread and
Yum.
she made it yesterday and she said it made 2 loaves, so she showed up with 1. What else was on there?
I know you had a drink.
We had pineapple mimosas.
Yum.
And
Were they
used,
delicious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bottle, superb.
Okay.
Invest in it. I bought blueberry margarita that we did not get to drink, so that will be happening at a different time.
Okay, perfect.
But for the mimosas, I used frozen pineapple chunks as our ice cubes.
No way, that's perfect.
I know.
So then it was like a little snack after.
I know. It was so bougie. I bought like a really pretty tablecloth and we sat outside. And
I did see that you guys were outside.
Yep, and we had plates and like matching plates and little napkins.
Stop. I love it.
It was good.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
Did Jackie approve?
Jackie did approve.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
She said something about the amount of food that I made, and I was like, I just wanted.
I love cooking for people. That's like my love language. So
It's fun. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I cook now. It's not to that degree, but yeah, it's fun every once in a while.
Yes, to just go all out and be like, hey,
sure.
Let me dust off the shoulders real quick and show you.
I need you to know that I also used. Do you remember when we made? Was it Strombolis?
Yes.
For work, and we got the aprons that had our names on them.
Yes.
I legit wore my apron.
So you were like ultimate.
Absolutely. I also made homemade whipped cream.
Oh, yes.
For the French toast, and that was also a hit. First time I'd ever made it, and I was like whisking it, you know, because you have to whisk it for so long to get the peaks.
You didn't do it in your KitchenAid? You hand whisked it?
I did, because the KitchenAid was dirty from the bagels the night before. Also, when I make the bagels, the instructions say you can have the KitchenAid dough knead it or dough hook it for so many minutes, but I'm kind of a control freak, and so I will let it do it for so long, and then I take it out and I hand knead it for like 13 minutes.
Holy shit, a labor of love, honestly.
It's a lot of work.
I have never hand whisked whipping cream, so go you for that.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. But yeah, I kept looking. I was like, Erin, does this look right? Because I've never made it.
Well, because you never want to go past the stiff peak mark.
Because it will start to curdle.
Yes. Yeah.
I stopped just in time. I think I actually did it a little too long, but it was fine.
Yeah.
But it tasted really fucking good.
Oh, I love
I could
homemade
eat that
whipped
whole
cream.
bowl by myself.
Yes, because you like, especially if you have like fresh fruit to just dip in.
Oh, see, now you got
just...
another one. Yep. But I still have sourdough discard, so I'm gonna make pretzels.
Ooh, that'll be
and
so
shove
good.
a cheese stick in the middle of them and bake them.
Absolutely.
It's the same, like the same thing as doing bagels. You have to still boil them and then bake them. So I'm gonna do it.
Get you some flaky salt on top.
I got flaky salt.
Hell yeah.
Moldova.
Oh, Moldon.
There you go.
You're welcome. Moldova does sound
I don't even know what that is, but
I don't know what that is.
The M, not mortar.
Okay, so
mortar, not Morton.
Oh, I thought we were going like with mortar and pestle.
Nope.
Okay, so Moldova kind of reminds me of the Princess Diaries, the Princess of Genovia.
Oh, okay. I feel like Moldova is a place in the world. I don't know. I never claimed to be super smart, so I don't know.
No, but you're killing it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So that was my Mother's Day. I also took like a 2-hour nap.
Oh, the perfect day.
We were going to go fishing, but I actually got up yesterday and wore a dress and did my makeup. And
wow, so you were like living the ultimate trad wife life.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So yeah, after everybody left, I was like, nope, I'm really like, have you ever been so tired that you're like, I can't even stand up?
Yes.
That was me.
Yeah. Especially whenever it's like peak napping time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was like 1 o'clock and I was like, got to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I did that. And then I watched Baby Reindeer.
And did you finish it?
I did finish it.
How'd you feel about it?
It's a fucked up, that's a fucked up series and it's very sad.
It's very sad.
I don't know what I thought I was going to start watching.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad. There's one episode that's very traumatic.
Yeah.
Very traumatic.
So Piers Morgan actually interviewed the real
His
stalker.
last name's Gat. Oh, not, yeah. The
real
her
Martha.
name's not Martha, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah.
And the fact that like she willingly just went and had an interview.
Well, I think like and you haven't finished it.
Mm-mm.
So when you get to the end, it kind of, it gets a little weird though, because of his idea and concept around her. And it's almost like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like he felt bad because he does turn her in. It's like he felt bad for turning her in and her getting in trouble for it. But at the same time, it's like he kind of depended on her. Yes.
Okay. So I think I had gotten to episode 6.
There's 7, I think, isn't there?
Yeah. So I think I'm near the end. Seth has the Netflix location as where he's at right now. Mm-hmm. So I am Netflixed out at the moment.
Oh no.
Unless I have it on my TV.
Yes.
Because my TV hasn't caught up, but my phone will not let me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just have to sit down and watch TV, and I never sit down and watch TV. I'm only ever watching it on my phone as I'm walking around my house. Yeah. It's I mean, it's really good. It's just sad. Yeah. Sad AF. It's a terrible story.
It really is.
But also is kind of it does show, I feel like where I got to, it was showing like his kind of codependency on her attention.
Yes. And the traumatic episode, I think it's episode 4. It's traumatic, but it's also like this, I think the way I looked at it was like, you know, the Me Too movement came out and it was always like, oh, it's always the women. But this is definitely from a different aspect. Like, no, it definitely happens to men too.
Well, so on TikTok, there's that trend about the bear or the man in the woods. Mm-hmm. And actually a lot of men are speaking out and sharing their stories of them being abused by other men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's just interesting to see that, you know.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
It does.
It absolutely goes both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was my Mother's Day. You're not a mom, but you will be someday.
Maybe.
And how was your mom and your Mother's Day?
It was good. We did dinner. My one idea for a gift for her was there is a workshop class that you can go decorate your own like hat, but it's not like a fedora, but it's not a cowboy hat, but it's like what the girls wear to country concerts now that aren't cowboy hats. But you can like burn them, add feathers to them and everything. So I was like, oh, this is great. Did I look into the class to register? No. And would we have been able to go? No. So then I was like, oh, shit. Like, what do I give this woman? Because I like to have a curated
Oh, yeah, for sure.
gift
well,
idea.
Especially for somebody like, I feel like your mom is a woman that, like, if she wants something, she's going to buy it.
Yes.
So she's like a woman of everything.
Correct.
So finding ideas to get her is very hard.
Yeah, and the only other thing that I had gotten her were these like solar bee lights that you can like hang outside.
Because she's a beekeeper.
Correct. And they were only like $10 on Amazon. So like that could not be my only gift.
Right.
So then I think I bought her flowers, took her out to lunch. We just hung out, went shopping and stuff like that. And then we did a nice dinner. And then the next morning we went to on Mother's Day, we went to a strawberry patch where it was like you pick. Mm-hmm. So we picked like a flat of strawberries. Aww. And then went home and made pancakes, but they were definitely box made pancakes. And after I mixed them up, she goes, "Oh, I usually doctor those up."
Of course she does.
I was like, well, Seth hates pancakes, so I never make pancakes. Mm-hmm. So I would have never known how to doctor up box pancakes. Note to self, you can add vanilla, milk, and eggs to them, even though it just says water.
I would have never thought to do that either.
No, but my mom does, so.
I would have also added cinnamon.
Oh, cinnamon would have been good, too.
Because you're fancy.
Because you're fancy.
Cinnamon if you're fancy. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, it was a good Mother's Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so one other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was I had a very funny story to tell.
Oh, no.
That I think the listeners might find hilarious. Not quite sure.
Okay.
But last Monday night, we were hit with some really bad storms. I say night, but it was more like the wee hours of the morning.
Isn't there a song, like an old song, in the wee... Oh, God.
I don't know. You Google that while I tell the story. So when I went to bed, which I would assume is about the same time that most people went to bed, it was like between 9 and 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. The storms that were on their way to us had just left the KC metro area. And the weatherman was saying like the atmosphere between KC and central Missouri was kind of unstable, and the storms could go one of two ways. It would either be like once the storms went into our atmosphere, they would either die down or they would ramp up. Mm-hmm. So I kept waking up every so many hours just to kind of like check the radar to see, okay, what's going on. And I think the last time I woke up, it was about midnight, and I looked at the radar, and they were literally just like not too far from where we live. So, but there was no like warnings. Mm-hmm. I don't even think we had a tornado watch.
I don't even know if I don't think my phone we were in a tornado watch.
There was no
I still was not concerned.
Right. There was still like there were no severe thunderstorms,
warnings
anything, nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. And so before we had gone to bed, Aaron had gone around to all the windows upstairs and shut them because it's supposed to rain really hard. So all of the windows are shut. Mm-hmm. I also sleep with a box fan on because I need the white noise in the background, and I need airflow.
Yeah, the air hitting your face.
Yes. Yeah. I also sleep with earplugs in because Aaron snores really bad. Yeah. And I've just gotten used to hearing my own breathing to put me to sleep also.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was that woke me up, but I woke up, I had earplugs in and the box fan going. And when I took the earplugs out, I could hear this noise, and I was like, what is that? And so I got up and turned the box fan on or off to realize that the tornado sirens were going off. Mm-hmm. It's 1:43 in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell? My phone never went off, nothing. So I'm pulling up the KOMU8, app to kind of see like what's going on. And even when I pulled up KOMU8, it just said severe thunderstorm warning.
Right.
So I'm like, why are the sirens going off? And then I like touched the screen for our specific area, and no, there's a tornado warning. So I am freaking out because it's dark. Yeah, and that's like somebody's worst nightmare is a tornado in the dark, right?
Yeah.
So I went to go get Gage up. And because he sleeps in his underwear, so he's the one that's got to have to get dressed over all of us.
Yeah.
I go to get Memphis up, and both kids are like, what's going on? And I was like, you guys need to get up and go to the basement. The sirens are going off. I had to get Aaron up twice.
His survival skills were not there either.
No, he was just like, I think living where we do, we kind of like become, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
desensitized. Yeah, yes. To the sirens going off because it's a county wide. So, and also the area that we live in, it's very much divided. Like anything north of our county normally gets one type of weather, and anything south gets another type. There's definitely a division.
Yes.
And so we kind of don't take a lot of it seriously. But again, it's night and I can't see shit. And there's nothing on my phone telling me otherwise, right?
Yeah. Also, you have kids.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So we all get up and my mom is messaging me saying, hey, the sirens are going off. And so I call my mom and she's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. They were getting everybody down underneath the house.
In the crawl space?
In the crawl space.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. All the dogs.
Oh, gosh.
All 4 of them.
Oh, no.
So Memphis comes downstairs to sleep on the bed here in the pod room.
Yeah.
Because that's the safest place in this. Actually, it's probably the gun room over across,
Yes.
but still.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a good friend. And I'm going to call Miss Lorraine to see if she hears. Because the last time this happened, we also could not hear the sirens.
No. And
because of where they're placed in town.
Yeah. And we were also like wide awake during this time.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Because we're just not located near a siren. You can hear them, but they're very faint.
Well, so somebody made a post on our on Moberly Talks talking about how they could not hear the sirens in their house, and somebody responded saying that the sirens are not for you to hear in your house. They're for people outside to be alerted. I think that's a little messed up because what did people do before smartphones?
I don't know as I fully agree with that because and who's watching the news at 1 something in the morning?
Hell no, not me.
Right. No, obviously not. Because when I called Lorraine 4 times, guys, she never answered.
Sure did not.
Nope. And I, at one point, was like, okay, I guess she's going to die because I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this thing is at, and I'm tired of calling her. Long story short, the tornado warning did expire as soon as it hit our town. Mm-hmm. And it got really windy. But when I got up and they were going off, it was dead outside, which is not good.
There's nothing worse than that.
It's not good. There was no wind, nothing. So the next morning, Lauren calls me at 5. And she's like, oh my gosh, Ashley, the sirens were going off last night. And I was like, yes, I know. I tried to call you 4 times to save your life. And you just said, Jesus, take the wheel.
I did.
So that's where we went with it. So that was my funny story.
No, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always sleep with my phone on silent. If somebody dies in the middle of the night, I'm going to find out after a good night's sleep.
Yep. I did not sleep anymore after that night.
Well, I even think that I woke up at 12:45 and I heard thunder. But I was like, doesn't sound that bad out there.
That's exactly why Aaron didn't get out of bed because he said I could hear the thunder. And here's the thing is the way our town is situated, it's down in a hole. Mm-hmm. So you have higher areas in Randolph County and Howard County.
Right.
So it's when the storms roll in, anything that's tornadic typically starts in Howard, Randolph, over where Higbee is at.
Yeah.
It goes through Mount Airy, Higbee hits Rennick, which is South Randolph, and then it kind of goes off into the next county. But he was like, yeah, when I could hear the thunder, because it was weird thunder, he was like, you could hear it from the south, so I wasn't too concerned about it. And I was like, yeah, but it was just dead.
Right, which
there
is
was
usually
no
a
wind.
huge sign.
Yeah. So then a couple of days later, I find out there was a tornado touchdown just outside of town. So
I'm still going to keep my phone on silent probably.
I still would like to know why the emergency alert system didn't work.
No, because the only alert that I got on my phone was my Alexa app.
Yeah, I didn't get anything.
But
Alexa,
that's the only.
I never got Alexa, KOMU8, or anything outside of that. It was very weird.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that said that one person in their household, their emergency alert, the Amber Alert thing, was going off, but not anybody else's.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Now, Chelsea said she uses a different weather app. I think it's called Carrot, and her phone went off.
Oh.
So looking into that for the next time.
Yeah.
So,
which could be any time because I think we have 2 days where there's no rain in the forecast. And then for the next 10 days, there's a chance of rain or storms.
I'm so glad I planted extra plants this year because last year they all died because we had a drought.
Yeah.
This year, those things better grow like nobody's business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, it's a Frank Sinatra song, In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning.
Would have never known that.
Yep. I know it. I cannot sing it without knowing what it sounds like, but I feel like I sang it in choir one year.
Oh, look at you.
Dakota will have to confirm or deny that.
Miss Choir Lady.
Miss Choir. Were you not? You were in choir.
I was.
Did you make it to chamber choir?
I never did because I know
Were you
this is
too
gonna,
cool for that?
I know this is going to shock you.
No, it's not.
But back in the day, I was really shy and I didn't like to be in front of people like that.
Oh, really?
I could do it now. Yeah. But back then, no way.
Oh. Dang, you missed out.
I
the
did.
Flattering dresses.
Oh, yeah. I was like so scared about what other people thought, which I still kind of am to a degree. But yeah, I can do it now in front of, I could do, I think I could do musicals and be very good at it.
I think you could too.
Yeah. I do it in my car all the time.
Oh, same.
And Aaron looks at me. I was just singing. What was I singing? It was off of Trolls.
Oh my God.
Singing to him Saturday. And he just kept looking at me like, but I was like, I said, sometimes this is my get ready for work hype song.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's not what I listen to, but okay.
No, literally, whenever I discovered the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack, I would make Seth listen to it, and he was just, because it's an emotional soundtrack, and so, but like, I would just get so into it, and he would be like,
I can only
but also,
imagine.
I feel that way whenever he listens to sad country music.
It's
so
true. There's a tear in my beard.
Yeah.
I'm crying for you, dear. Anyways, okay, so today's episode, because you don't know what it's about, so this is going to be a shocker and a surprise for Lorraine, too. But I don't know why I thought about this the other day. But I thought, you know what? I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, so I'm just going to start diving into it. And so today's episode is on the Catacombs of Paris.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not
You weren't expecting that. Yeah. All right. So it's kind of short, actually. But as I get towards the end, there's a news article that I want to read you about it because it's really fucking weird. So here we go.
Let's do it.
I'm sure some of you have heard of the 2014 horror film As Above, So Below, where a group of younger adults visit the catacombs of Paris and encounter spirits or souls, demons from outside of our world. And it's just a big, long, scary story. Now, I think this movie was scary for some people, in part due to the plot. You know, you've got ghosts and demons, things of that nature. But if you're like me, who's kind of a weirdo, it was also scary because they were lost and trapped under the earth.
Absolutely.
Which is very scary.
Yeah.
And as we all know, Ashley's a big wuss puss when it comes to things like this, deep, dark water, under the earth's skin. I think it has something to do with the unknown. I'm not really sure.
Oh, have you watched that horror?
The Descendants?
Yeah.
I cannot.
The little, like, clear, translucent
Yeah, I
people
don't like that. You could not pay me enough
out.
money to.
No, I would never do it, but I like watching the movie.
Yeah, I've been in some caves as a child.
Yeah.
And looking back on that, I'm like, why? Why did you
Right.
do that? No, you couldn't pay me enough money. Yeah, so today we're going to travel into an uncomfortable place for me, which is none other than the Catacombs of Paris. So the Catacombs of Paris were constructed in the 18th century due to two issues that had arose in current day Paris: sinkholes and a surplus of dead bodies. So many of I think they're called Parisians.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, people that live in Paris? Yeah, Parisians is correct.
Many of the Parisians sought after landmarks of today, like the Louvre. You know what I'm talking about, the art museum.
Oh, yeah.
Where the
I
Mona
also
Lisa's at.
feel like, is it Louvre? There's also a artist with that name.
Probably so.
Couldn't tell you how to pronounce it, but you sound spot on, man.
Absolutely. Oh, also, I need to fair warn, I am not French. I did take French.
Hey, you took French?
I took 2 years of French in high
We
school.
were doing really good in our pronunciations at the beginning whenever we were talking about all the stuff for brunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Yeah,
you and my mom could bond over that because my mom also took French.
I loved French.
My little brother got YSL Cologne.
Yves Saint Laurent.
All right, Della. Okay, yeah. So she kept saying that, and I was like, we just call it YSL now.
No, it's Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah. Good job.
My name was Aurélie. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Aurélie. That's
wow,
all right.
You make that sound really good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I could tell you the alphabet, too, because we sang a song to that. I'll tell you that later on.
Okay, sounds great.
Because nobody wants to hear me sing. But anyways, so those mass buildings that a lot of people visit today, they are made of, and I apologize if I butcher this, but I think it's called Louisian limestone, which is just known as, it's the Paris limestone.
Okay.
So that limestone was mined from quarries along the outskirts of Paris, and it had been done since the Roman times.
Okay.
By the late 18th century, the city had grown extensively. So because it grew so much, it placed many of the newly built city to be above where the old mines were. So that created some unstable conditions of the land. which creates sinkholes.
Right.
So massive sinkholes began to emerge, one of which measured up to 84 feet deep, and it engulfed houses, carts, and people.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The second concern alongside with the sinkholes was, where am I at? The second concern leading to the building of the catacombs was that of overcrowded cemeteries. So in the 18th century, this is kind of messed up, but in the 18th century, most of the Paris residents that had passed, they were buried in communal graves on the grounds of their church that they attended.
Oh, okay.
So these graves were basically, they were left open until they were full.
Sick.
And that,
so like John, Jill, Sarah, Hannah,
Billy
they
Bob.
were all thrown in one grave together.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah. And that process, so the process in getting it full could take some time to happen. So basically, they would just leave these graves open and fill them with the dead as they passed.
Okay, but all right, go ahead. Keep going.
So then as they got full, they would close off the graves. Years later, they would reopen the grave and take out the bones, and then they would transport them to the Charnel house.
What?
So they would like close off these graves when they got full.
Yeah.
Let the bodies decompose.
Yeah.
Dig them back up and then move their bones. Don't ask me why this was a thing, but it was a thing.
To just reduce, reduce, recycle.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So the largest burying ground in Paris was that of the Holy Innocents Cemetery, which had been in use for over 500 years. With the city experiencing a boom of growth and no signs of stopping, by the mid 1700s, 1 of 10 people that lived in Paris were buried in that cemetery each year. So that's quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining these open graves of rotting people.
Oh yeah, we gotta get there.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Because
I'm fixated on this right now.
Because then, I mean,
that shit would not fly now.
Yes, but correct. But you also have to remember that this is in the 1700s when people literally threw their feces out their front window.
Yeah,
and it was in the streets. So yes, you're thinking along the same lines of like, I don't know why this it seemed like a good idea, but okay, whatever.
Right.
So with these open graves and all of the human decomp taking place, as you can imagine, the stench and the types of disease that could come out of this. So that's pretty disgusting.
That's actually so nasty.
In 1765, with the declining power of the Catholic Church, the concern from the public sanitation seemed to be growing. So the Parliament of Paris actually condemned church burial for most citizens and claimed that any burials taking place after January 1st needed to be in new cemeteries outside of the city limits. So basically what that meant was they were no longer to use the cemeteries that had been in place for so many years. They were to be buried at new cemeteries outside of the city limits because of the decomp and the stench and the types of diseases that it could create.
Yeah, because can you imagine on like a warm summer day?
Oh yeah.
That probably smells worse than a pig farm.
I bet you're right. So as you can imagine, this didn't sit well with the citizens who wanted to be buried with their families that had been laid to rest for centuries.
Right. But also, I'm thinking that would be some really good soil to grow things in.
Fertilize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
However, in the spring of 1780, the residents along the western edge of the Holy Innocents, so that big ass cemetery, the residents along the western edge of that cemetery began to complain of respiratory issues along with vomiting and delirium.
Oh no.
When inspected, it was found that the gases from decomposing bodies had burst through the cellar walls and risen to the ground floor of at least 3 homes.
Oh my God.
So yes, you're right. It does, like, it carries a lot of sickness.
That reminds me of a story where somebody killed someone and shoved all of the body parts down their like bathroom sink drain, and other people were drinking the contaminated water because not all the pieces were going down.
Yes. I feel, I think it's the same when it comes to even just like animal.
Oh yeah.
There's certain things you have to do, otherwise it will back up your sewage,
Yes.
right? And then it'll make you sick. Yeah. So the royal ordinance declared innocence a threat to the city, and they closed it down. So they weren't allowed to bury people there anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So because of this, the exhumation of the bodies from Holy Innocents, that began in December of 1785. Workers would begin at night and cart them by torchlight.
Oh, and they didn't even have any big machines.
Nope. It was all by cart. Covered wagon and cart. Yep. By torchlight to their new resting place, the city catacombs. So you're probably wondering, cool, where the hell did they get all the storage for that?
Yeah.
Well, turns out the French are pretty smart folks, and this situation ended up being a marriage of convenience. You remember those underground mines that we talked about?
Yeah.
That's the catacombs. So they ended up using those because they had been maintained through the years as a local storage solution.
Mm-hmm.
So over the next few years, the workers would continue to dig up the remains of these cemeteries and transport them to what was then known as the Paris Municipal Ossuary. In 1789, with the outbreak of the French Revolution, everything was put on hold. But as the bodies began to stack up during the Reign of Terror, the city's dead began to be buried in the catacombs, which then gained the name of the Empire of the Dead. Yeah. So before it was open to the public, the ossuary went through extensive redecorating. Inspector, I'm going to butcher this and I apologize, Hericat de Thury, I think. Hericat de Thury, because I don't think they do their THs. Thury. Anyways.
Sounds good to me.
This gentleman reconstructed the site and took a more monumental approach with it. Previously, the bones had kind of just been loosely piled underground. But he actually had walls carefully organized with rows of tibia and alternating skulls. So I don't know if you've ever looked up pictures of the catacombs, but the walls are, it's like you have a row of tibia, you have a row of skulls, you have a row of tibia.
Well, yeah, because doesn't it mess with your what is that fear?
Trypophobia.
Yeah, whatever.
Trypophobia.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't that bad. It's very weird. That didn't bother me as bad as the picture of the freaking locust that you sent this morning. That really fucked with me.
Dude, yeah, the locust.
That was awful. Ugh. So any remaining bones other than the tibia and the skulls, they were kind of piled behind the walls, and then he would build them up. So you have loose bones, and then you have these walls of tibia and skulls. Yeah. Masonry monuments in Egyptian styles were installed, and many were in the shape of Doric columns, altars, steles, or tombs. Specific areas were named after antique sources, such as the Samaritan Fountain and I looked up how to say this word yesterday, and how do you say it? Sepulchral lamp. Did not know what that was. You'll have to look up a picture of it. Terry aimed for an education aspect of the ossuary during the reconstruction. So he actually ended up building 2 cabinets. This got me so excited. He built 2 cabinets in the style of a traditional cabinet of curiosity.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know how I love cabinets of curiosity. One cabinet was dedicated to mineralogy, and the second was to pathology. So the pathology cabinet showed specimens that showcased bone illnesses and deformations, all of which were done in effort to encourage visitors towards introspect and meditation on death.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was a very open-minded aspect.
Yeah.
Once the reorganization was complete, the catacombs were opened to the public in 1809 as ordered by Napoleon Bonaparte.
Wow.
Yeah. But since 1955, it's been illegal to enter the catacombs without permission. So you can go there today, but they are on guided tours.
Okay. Which makes sense. I feel like anything historical is almost on guided tours now. Oh, okay. Why's your face like that?
So as you can imagine, this doesn't necessarily keep the people at bay. There is, with only 1.5 kilometers, so that's a little less than a mile, of tunnels strictly dedicated towards the catacombs that are filled with bones. The rest of the tunnels have been used for everything from subterranean mushroom farming to beer storage to a bomb raid shelter and a meeting place for the French resistance during World War II. Along with the catacombs being open to the public for guided tours, today there's also a branch of the Paris police dubbed as the Catalyphics. Yep. So they basically patrol beneath the city's streets to keep any of the quote-unquote explorers out of those tunnels and out of the catacombs.
Okay.
There are 170 miles of tunnels, caves, galleries, and catacombs. down there.
Wow.
So this is the article that I'm going to read here in a little bit.
Okay.
Now, crazily enough, yes, you've got police down there that walk the tunnels. But in 2004, the police discovered an illegal underground cinema and bar.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah, so I'm going to read you that article here in just a minute because the stuff that they found in there, it just really creeped me out. Now, to go back to the vision of the catacombs as being a place for open-mindedness towards death and really what seemed like science in general, the environment of the catacombs has been used in several scientific studies. So Turry himself did an experiment in 1813 where he took 4 goldfish and placed them into the basin of the Samaritan fountain. The fish survived, but because of the environment they were in, they became blind and they were unable to reproduce. There was also a man that he was known as Nadar. He experienced with the first shots that were used with artificial light photography. So he would go down into the tunnels to see what that artificial light looked like and what it did. And he would use what's the word I'm looking for? Dummies. He would use dummies and kind of pose them around the tunnels and take pictures so that it looked like a real. It's like a pic. Okay. You have to have it has to look like a human to kind of figure out what that does. Yeah. So it's been used for scientific purposes. They still use it for scientific purposes. So that's kind of cool. Now, oddly enough, there's only ever been one death that's been officially confirmed in the catacombs in 1793, and this creeps me out.
Okay.
In 1793, I think his name is Philibert, a doorkeeper for the Val de Grace Hospital. He died in the catacombs. It's thought that he lost his light source and he was left in the darkness. In 1804, 11 years later, his body was found. Only a few meters away from a staircase that would have led to an exit. He was only identified by his hospital keyring and the buttons on his jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine dying in total darkness?
Absolutely not.
Creeps me out.
Also, no. No.
I'm going to nope right out of that.
Absolutely not. You could not pay me enough.
Yeah, so there's not really much on the catacombs. Nothing like crazy, scary has ever gone on down there or anything like that. It's just very...
It's eerie that you're just surrounded by...
Yes, and I do think that they went this route also because the Romans also had catacombs, and so it's not like they just thought of this idea on their own. It's like it made sense, and the Romans had also stored their dead in the same fashion. So, and if you think about it, so did the Egyptians. They have a lot of tombs underground. The fact that they dug up all of those graves and transported the bones is just a little creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
All right, but back to the cinema and the underground bar that they found. I pulled the news article on it. And let me remember where it's from. I feel it's from the Guardian.
Okay.
So it's from the Guardian, and it's an article from 2004. So here we go. Police in Paris have discovered a fully equipped cinema/restaurant in a large and previously uncharted cavern underneath the capital's chic 16th arrondissement. I don't know. They found it down there in the tunnels.
I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yep.
We'll go with it.
Officers admit they're at a loss of who built or used the Paris's most intriguing recent discoveries. We have no idea whatsoever, a public spokesman said. There were 2 trigger warning. Just have to put out a trigger warning. This is just what's in the article. There were 2 swastikas painted on the ceiling, but also Celtic crosses and several stars of David, so we don't think it's extremists. Some sect or secret society, maybe. There are a number of possibilities.
Right.
Members of the force's sports squad responsible, among other tasks, for policing the 170 miles of tunnels, caves, galleries, and catacombs that underlie large parts of Paris, stumbled on the complex while on a training exercise beneath the, I think it's Palais de Chalet. across from the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, or is it Chalet?
Maybe it is Chalet. They don't say their T's. I don't think so. You're probably right. After entering the network through a drain, the officers came across something that was marked building site, no access. Behind that, a tunnel held it. This is the creepiest part to me, and I don't know why. I think it makes me think of Saw. Behind that, a tunnel held a desk and a closed circuit TV camera set to automatically record images of anyone passing. The mechanism also triggered a tape of dogs barking, clearly designed to frighten people off. Further along the tunnel opened into a vast 400 square meter cave, some 18 meters underground, like an underground amphitheater, with terraces cut into the rock and chairs. There, the police found a full-size cinema screen, projection equipment, and tapes of a wide variety of films, including 1950s film noir classics and more recent thrillers. None of the films were banned or even offensive. So that's a little weird.
Yeah.
A similar cave next door had been turned into an informal restaurant and bar. There were bottles of whiskey and other spirits behind the bar tables and chairs, a pressure cooker for making, what's that C word? Conch? It's a noodle. Or it's like a rice.
A rice?
Mm-hmm. Is it a rice?
I don't know.
Some type of food. I'll pull it up so you can pronounce it. The whole thing ran off a professionally installed electricity system, and there were at least 3 phone lines down there. Is that not crazy?
What the heck?
Hold on, I'm not done with this yet.
Also, I'm just imagining that it was just like a group of people finding this cool little hangout spot and creating it as their own. You know, like as kids,
that is not what I envisioned.
Like a tree house.
Yeah, that's not what I envisioned. But I am so glad that that's what you envision.
I mean, the swastika kind of makes you think that things are up to no good. Oh, couscous.
Couscous. There we go.
Yeah.
That is not how I would have said it. 3 days later, when the police returned, accompanied by experts from the French Electricity Board to see where the power was coming from, the phone and the electricity lines had been cut. And there was a note laying in the middle of the floor. Do not, it said, try to find us.
Sick.
The miles of tunnels and catacombs underlying Paris are essentially former quarries during the Roman times, from which much of the stone was dug to build the city. Today, visitors can take guided tours around a tightly restricted section.
So you're really only seeing
all of these things.
A really small area.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all that was in this article. But it does say, what's the last thing that this says? A photographer who has published a book on the urban underground exploration movement, because that's a thing, claims to be close to whatever said group did this, told Radio Cavern's Discovery that it was a shame, but not the end of the world, that this had been done. Mm-hmm. There were a dozen more where that one came from. You guys have no idea what's down there.
Wow.
Does that not creep you out?
That's so creepy.
The fact that, like, I'm just like envisioning, like I said, like Saw. I'm envisioning like you walk in and there's like, you know, a whole wall of cameras where like maybe they can see stoplights and stuff outside. Right. And maybe there's like cameras in certain rooms and they're watching people. I don't know. It just, and then you come down a day or two later and everything's cut and they're like, do not try to find us.
Well, yeah, because you know that somebody snuck down there.
For sure. Or what if it is like a secret society?
That's what I was making it a nicer sound.
You were G-rating it?
But I think it could be.
For real. Like, what if it was?
Yeah. Because what are some of those, not really secret societies,
I'm thinking of, like, now? The Skull.
The Skull and Crossbones Society?
Yeah, is that what it is? Or the...
I don't know. I feel like it is.
What was the other one?
What's the one that's here? Not the Knights of Columbus.
Oh, are you talking about the Masons?
Yeah, the Freemasons.
The Freemasons and the Shriners.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's a Freemason.
Sorry, Ashley's dad.
I know. I really.
What's your dad's name? I feel like
Danny.
Before it's Danny.
Danny.
I was thinking Spike.
Oh.
I don't think he listens to this.
I think it's so funny that you would think my dad.
I just look at your dad and I think of Spike.
Nope, it's Danny.
Danny.
I think he actually calls himself Daniel now.
Danny boy.
Yeah. 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 I don't, what was that one that I was going to research and I did it and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that because I think the government will show up and
Bohemian Grove.
That's what I envision. Like, it's like high society people down there in the catacombs that nobody knows about.
It's probably the One World Order. That's where they're having their secret meetings.
It could be. Because they said, do not try to find us.
Yeah.
Eerie.
Thanks, Obama.
Eerie. Yeah. So that's all I got for you today.
That's fascinating. That was more than I ever thought about.
I don't even know if I could go down there. I don't know.
think I would want to go down there.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I say that, but I probably would.
See, my Final Destination brain would think, okay, this is the day that I'm going to go venture through the catacombs on this guided tour. And then once I get down there, this earthquake happens in Paris that they never thought was going to happen, and I would die down there.
Okay, yeah, but that's actually so true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't.
I think about that with the bridge. We were driving over a bridge the other day, and I was like,
no, girl, let me tell you about this one bridge real quick, because that was a recent thing. When we went to Florida, the area that we were in, it was just outside of Jacksonville, and there is a very long bridge that crosses, like, it's like a channel almost.
Yeah.
Of the ocean. And that fucking thing, as soon as we crossed over onto that bridge, I kid you not, my butt cheeks were like, because I was just like, I just about ate my microphone. This is the day that this bridge is going to collapse and I'm going to be eaten by a goddamn shark down there. I know it. I just know it. So I basically just like closed my eyes and was like,
do you remember as a kid that you would always say, if you hold your breath, you won't die? Yeah, crossing a bridge.
Yeah, you would have died if you held your breath across this bridge because it was fucking long. Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah. So that's all I got for today's episode, guys.
Wow, it feels good to kind of finally be back. We can't slack anymore.
We can't. But, it's the end of the school year. Yeah. And it's just like when it
also,
rains,
it was kind
pours.
of time to take a slightish break. We've done 25 weeks or 24 weeks of constant episodes, basically.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But we're back, and it's good. That was a good episode.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know what my episode's going to be about on Friday. I have at least 10 ideas, but I feel like I always say I'm going to do something. And then when it comes time to it, I'm like, boring. No.
Yeah. Or you find you in your head, you're like, man, I really want to do this. And then you start to dive into it and there's just not that much information on it.
Yeah. And so then do I even want to talk about it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always say, well, I could do multiple little things in one episode, but then also that doesn't sound that fun either sometimes.
Yeah. I think I know what my next one's going to be on, but I'm going to start researching it now because it's got a lot of information in it, but I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a go.
That wraps up today's episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Patreon.
So basically anywhere you get your podcast from. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and hit that notification bell so you can get an alert every time a new episode drops. So tap that app. Tap that app.
We'll see you next week, but in the meantime,
stay strange, my friends. So the alphabet went A, B, C, D, U, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I don't remember Q. Q, R, S, A. Yeah, I quit.